Hey look, buddy. I'm an engineer main. That means I solve problems. Not problems like what is the problem with the current United States prison system. I solve practical problems. Anyway, welcome to the video, everyone. Today I was on my way home, which is when I normally get my ideas for my videos, is when I'm actually on my way home from school. Because I have this weird thing where you may say I'm like crazy, but I spend my time talking to myself in my car. Not in a bad way. Oh, that med just dropped. Not a bad way. I just like get a topic in my mind and just start talking aloud because I like doing that. I like talking aloud and talking to an invisible audience. So that's why I do this. Anyway, today's video is about how to solve problems, and that's why I let that intro in, was kind of how to solve practical problems, you know. TF2 engineer. But hard to spy. But it's how to solve your various problems in life. And I can make some social commentary here, and I'm going to at some point. But I'm a firm believer that any way to solve any problem you're ever going to have in your life, the easiest way is having a dialogue about it. Talking about it. Figuring out what both sides want and both sides need. You know, mutual agreement, social contracts, stuff like that. You know, stuff that you do in high school, in junior high. Little things. And in all honesty, I think this should be, you know, the big way how we solve all of our problems, even as a country. And that's getting into something I don't want to talk about just yet. I want to talk about that in a little bit. So the fact that no one sees this mini here. Anyway, so how do I solve my problems? And this is a method that that came up with from when I was running my team, and that's because I'm kind of a pacifist. I don't agree with conflict. I don't agree, even if it's just arguing. I don't really agree with that. I don't think it's worth the time. So I came up with this, and I didn't come up with this idea. I probably just, you know, was like the 1200th person to figure out that this is the way that you can do this. And that is talking about the problem. And so if you have a problem with, say, a person you work with, a person you go to school with, a person you play TF2 with, competitively or in casual, the easiest way to fix the problem, so say like you're playing competitive TF2, and your soldier isn't pulling his weight. How do you combat that problem? Constructively. Most people would say, cut the soldier and get a new one. But anyway, as far as I know, my computer just said OBS crashed. I think that's old data. Anyhow. High engineer. Not gonna deal with him. But the thing about it being that the way to solve problems, I feel, the most efficiently and the most time without wasting a ton of time, is going to be just talking about it. You know, it's super basic. Hi, Spy. Hi, Spy. How are you? But it's like talking. Oh, hi, Spy. How are you? You want to leave me alone? Anyhow. But what I mean to bring up in this is like, so you have these problems or whatever, and the way to fix them is just by talking about them. I've always been a firm believer, and I've said it like 5 times now. Let's get into some examples. Like I was saying about, say, your soldier isn't pulling his weight in competitive. So how do you fix that problem? Well, easiest thing to do is just to, you know, talk about it. Figure it out. Also, mind my cat. He's deciding that now is the appropriate time to be annoying. Saying my cat's adorable. Hi, Spy. So, you have those kind of problems, and you have, you know, your problems in life or whatever. And honestly, like say, you know, you have, you know, your neighbor Jonas Yeethoven. Definitely not Jonah Beethoven. Or Jonah Beethoven? Johann. Everyone's name Johann. Let's say your neighbor Jonas. Because his mom had a speech impediment and she named him Jonas instead of Jonas. And say he's making you mow his lawn. And you're annoyed about that because you don't want to mow someone else's lawn. That's not your job. So in all honesty, you know, maybe you want to, you know, talk about this. So what do you do? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna sue him. So you're wasting both of your guys' money and time. Talk about it. Go talk to him. Say, hey, yo, mow your damn lawn. I mean, don't say that, but figure out something. Usually will fix the problem, straight out. I'm gonna get into some social comment. This is the juicy stuff that I want to talk about. So I'm involved. I'm not like involved, but I do participate in discussion that revolves around anything political. I love politics. I mean, I don't like love politics, but I enjoy the a lot of the stuff that comes along with it. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about with other people, especially if people don't do the normal thing that we do in this country, is shut down someone else's ideas because I don't agree with you. And I think it's partially due to the fact that we have this inherent nature where, like on YouTube, for instance, if you talk to anyone who's getting bit on YouTube, they say, don't talk about politics. Don't talk about anything touchy. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to have to remember. They want to come here for distraction. And in all honesty, I think that could be somewhat correlated to the problem where we don't, or we don't talk about. There's a spy right in this corner. We don't talk about the problems that we have, or you know, say we have an issue with the current political system. Not political system. Let's just talk. Political system is a bigger issue, and politics as a whole is a huge issue. But that's what to me makes it really, really enjoyable to talk about. Not like it's fun to shit on someone else's ideas. I love to hear what you have to think. Every single person has an opinion, and they have a right to that opinion, and that opinion should be spoken. You know, it shouldn't be, don't talk about it. I mean, in my family, it was to the point where it would be said, like, you know, don't talk about what you think politically at family gatherings, at work, at school, around your friends. Just don't do it. You know? And that was fine and dandy or whatever, but at a certain point, we don't talk about anything. And that, I think, is one of the bigger problems. The fact that we don't talk about the problems that we have. It's so, like... It's so don't talk about it that, you know, you don't talk about it, for instance, you know? And that's whatever. But I think the way to solving a lot of the problems in the country or in the world is to talk about it. Instead of the normal, you know, oh, we don't talk about politics unless we're at a political rally or a political debate. Fine, Jim Dandy. But you're not helping the problem, actually. So I do think that could be, you know, one of the ways that we could start to solve the problems that we have as a country variously. I mean, that's all over the place. Of course, you know, the problems that one country has or the world has is such a huge issue that my commentaries alone would barely scratch the surface, be somewhat biased to something of conservatism, because I'm kind of conservative based on the area that I live in. Not like super conservative, but I'm apparently a little bit conservative. It would be such a huge issue and so many hours upon hours of videos and recording. It would take me years to get through that. And maybe that is a way to get big because I'm talking about something touchy. But no, I don't want to do that. I mean, my personal opinion on it is discussion. You know, if you think that the way to fix the current prison system is to, you know, put the inmates all in solitary confinement, you don't have, you get one meal a day, it's like an apple a day, you have rigorous checkups, if they need you in the army, you're forced into the army, if they need you for testing, you know, it's a shitty, terrible life. And you think that, I personally want to agree with you, I have my own opinions on the matter, but my cat obviously is very, very into this issue. Apparently, a lot. He's very, very invested in this issue. By the way, my cat is named Stuart. He's black and white, doesn't have a tail. Anyway. He won't leave me alone. I think he's hungry. Moving on to Lakeside now. This will be a fun map to talk on. But yeah, so I mean, I have this thing where I don't want to shut your argument down. I would love to hear your argument. I want to discuss it with you. Oh, we're into a game and match. Cool beans with 2 Huntsman snipers. Alrighty. But I honestly think that, you know, that could be a correlation or a cause, is the word for it, of the problem that our issues as a country and as a world aren't being fixed. Because no one wants to talk about them, if you know what I mean. We don't talk about it because we're told not to. Unless you know what you're talking about. And that's, I think, is... Okay. Okay. So I think that could be a relationship to it. And I wasn't trying to say, like, the prison system is, you know, the focus is failure. It was purely an example. That's another thing. We're way too politically correct. But that's the change I cannot control. Like I said, though, I personally think the way to solving these various problems is to have a dialogue about it. In my experience of running a team of 9 people, online, mind you, which makes it even more complicated than it already needs to be, the way to solve almost any problem that we had as a team was we sat down and we talked about it. We figured, I mean, it wasn't like, and we purposely made it so it wasn't this, you're wrong, I'm right, you need to stop. Or it was whatever way it was. We made sure it was never that way. Because that ain't cool. That ain't Falco. You know? It's not cool to either of the people to have anyone actually, you know, have to take that. So we just figured out something that we could do constructively to actually counter the issue. I bumped the spy. Hi, bud. Having fun farming my Wrangler right now. Cheese weapon's good. I forgot about that. But that was purely just a topic, per se. My tail. Where did that pyro come from? There's always another pyro. But that's what we did. We always had a topic about it. And it wasn't no one was shitting on someone else. It was I made sure that never happened. But we came to a conclusion as a team. You know, that's just what we did. And that worked really well to keep things balanced, keep us constructive, and keep us moving forward constantly. And honestly, I think at a small scale, that works really, really well. And I think it could work on a bigger scale. If instead of saying we don't talk about those issues to your family, your friends, whatever, you figure out where you sit, and that way those issues, say, you know, poverty or hunger or the education system or the prison system or are our politicians corrupt or not? Instead of not talking about it, let's talk about it. Let's figure this out, because in reality, I mean, if you want to look and go into the actual politics of it, we're a country and we have the right to vote. So if you see something that you don't like, you vote against it. And if enough people also agree with you, you win. Your vote goes through, and you get the magical gold star of, hey, you were able to win. So now that changes to come into place. And maybe that's for the better. Or if you don't like a certain aspect of our country, you change it. We're a democracy. We're supposed to, the people that are in the offices are supposed to be the ones working for us. But that's my personal view on it, which, hey, I'm going to talk about it because I think I have a right to. So, when it comes down to that, and the various small things, it's like, you know, that's just going to be what it is for a long time. And honestly speaking, if we talk, like, if you want to be related to right now, if you don't like Hillary or Donald Trump, there are third parties. Do not let them say that your vote is going to go to them. It won't. It will go to a third party, and you have just used your right to vote. You have exercised your right, your human-born right in this country to vote, and you made your point. that you don't want Hillary or Donald Trump. If you don't want them. If you do want them, then fair, go ahead. I'm not going to shit-talk you for voting that way. That's not my right. Where is our team? I'm trying to have buildings up here, and they just keep getting blown up. I'll throw it in this one, I guess. So, like I was saying, though, I honestly love having discussions. So, if you guys ever catch me in a stream or something and you want to talk to me about something taboo or touchy or, ooh, we don't talk about that because that's not good to talk about, feel free, bring it up with me. Let's do it. If I'm invested in the topic and I know what you're talking about, I mean, some of them are, I don't even know about, I don't even hear about them, then yeah, I might not be able to, I may not say, I'm not the best, you should talk with me about this, but if you want to talk about it, let's fucking do it. I love it. I love discussing things. I got yelled at work for doing it. I mean, not really yelled at. My boss was like, hey, you just get back to work. There was nothing to do. But I was like, damn, I'm gonna talk politics. Why not? So, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy having discussions. I enjoy talking to people. So, like I said, I think that's the way that we can solve problems. I doubt you're going to see a lot of videos on this channel that are politically oriented, biased. I don't want to be biased. I just love inspiring discussion. The word's instigating, I think. I love instigating discussion. Okay, I can outdamage you. Wow. Wrangler's overpowered as fuck. Oh, my mini got blown up. Alright. Well, I'm gonna leave this episode here. I think I touched on my point that I wanted to touch on pretty well. I don't know if it was super well, but I did. Ah, okay. Well, that being said, though, I hope you guys enjoyed these kind of videos. I don't know, I like talking about things, so if you think the way to fix your problems in your life is to talk about it, go do it. I think it's gonna work for you. Anyway, take it easy, fellas.